All right, guys. We are going to be taking a look at another play from the Singleback Y Trips. In this video, we're going to be going over the play Smash. But I first wanted to take a second to kind of update you on using this on bump fade. Now, what I've seen players do online since I've made it, I've started to really master it. I don't know if master is the right word because I'll probably just mess it up as soon as I, but get used to it, kind of get in the flow with it. I've seen players start to shade outside, and when you see the shade outside, a lot more times than not, you're going to get a chuck at the line of scrimmage, and that's pretty detrimental to completing this throw consistently because it not because it messes up the timing so much as it pushes you too close to the boundary. So even if you were to catch the pass, a lot of times I'm catching it out. So I'm going to go ahead and show this again, see if we got the chuck. And you see how close we are to the boundary? Even if I came down with that, that was actually a pretty mess up the first time. But even if we came down with it, out of bounds. So that's a little bit better. He beat the press. Typically, guys will come down with that. Keyshawn has been coming down with that quite consistently. So I'm pretty happy that that's working. That's just a little note. If you see a shade outside, you may want to take maybe you may want to switch plays to something with an in-breaking route or start putting slants. We are going to get into how to take advantage of inside shading, outside shading with some of the plays we have in this formation. But just for this video, let's take a look right now. Smash. And sometimes it happens when you're used to play with this. But the one thing I did want to kind of point out is that this corner route is not the best man-beating corner route. It's definitely not built the same as a lot of corner routes from compressed sets. So all corner routes are not graded equal. Just want to put that tip out there, and you do have to throw them differently. I want to go ahead and I'm just going to snap the ball and let this play run out real quick. I want to show you the way the receiver runs that. He kind of runs it up the field a little bit more, right? Now with a chuck, it's going to obviously look a little bit different, but if there's no press, it's not like a super severe cut. Like, yeah, there is space to throw that ball, but he doesn't cut as hard of an angle towards the line. You can adjust the way you pass the ball to lead him more away from the corner, which is something we're going to go over here shortly. But all corner routes are not built equal, so just be aware that this is not going to be the most dominant. So we're going to go ahead and press. You'll notice Ramsey is lined up against Jalen. Jalen Allen is lined up against Keenan Allen. Jalen Allen. I can't even words. Just forget the words. Watch the video on mute. So the way I threw that ball was almost like how I throw a curl route. I threw it at like a 5 o'clock pass lead, right? Most corner routes you can throw probably like a 4, almost a 3 o'clock. You want to throw down and away on all the corner routes, but this one's a little bit more exaggerated with how you got that. So, like, once again, snap the ball. He gets inside release. Obviously, it's better if you get an outside release. I'll say that right now. It's definitely more effective and easier to hit the pass. When you get an inside release, you can still hit it, but you're going to have to get your pass lead pretty close to perfect single time. So yes, you can throw that against man coverage, best corner. If they start shading inside, you won't even know. If they come out in just a base like cover 0, they're automatically shaded inside. They start shading outside. You're not even gonna know until a second. So it's a little bit tough to kind of gauge that, especially when you're getting screamed at by these block sheds. So let's go ahead and drop this whole right side. Run through that whole route. Trying to throw this. I shaded outside. He actually cooked him pretty good. I don't think I actually got the shade outside in him. More thorough. Even though they shade outside, you can still throw it, right? but it's a little bit. I guess it's not as clean. I guess is the word. But that's it's a solid corner route. The more I throw it, the more I'm like, oh, this could actually be something really dominant. But then you get into like a mutt game, and you realize there's some kind of crazy things going on that aren't really reflected in practice mode. So just take this with a grain of salt. Like I said, not the best corner route, but it can. Now the play's function really is for beating zone coverage, typically in my offense. But I did want to go over one more thing, one maybe two more things. So if you're seeing the shade inside, that dig route's probably not going to get open at all. And if it does, it gets open really late. It's tough with the way people blitz and block sheds to wait for that route to get open. If they start the shade outside, then you can definitely hit this late. I'm going to go ahead and reset the play, and I'm going to talk about this tight end route for just a second. All right. So the tight end in this defense and in a lot of defenses is going to be covered by an off-ball safety. So you'll see that this streak route kind of bends to the inside. So that's actually kind of a big advantage for us, right? Because we want to throw this. If we see single coverage, you can throw this to the inside. And typically they don't get beat that bad. It looks like it might have actually registered a shade underneath. It's kind of hard using two. For me, it's actually hard to use just one. That's just because I'm old. Go ahead and throw this. You can throw that inside pass lead, but let me show you the most advantageous position to throw this. It's when the safety's hips open up. Is when you want to start throwing it. So right here, they have less of a chance to react and get to that. I put Jalen Ramsey there at safety for about 20 minutes, threw that ball multiple different ways, and I found that was the best way to throw. So just trust me on that. When the safety turns his hips, that's when it's going to be open. So let's also now get into zone coverage. So this play, just by default, is great against Tampa 2. I like to smoke screen the outside guy instead of leaving him on that baby curl because he can catch the ball and then get upfield a little bit better with the smoke. So if they're playing cloud flats, you'll see them back off, and then check down. Then, pretty straightforward. I'm not going to kind of belabor the point on that. Go ahead and go back into Tampa 2. Our goal is to get them into hard flat, right? We're reading the right side of the field. See, okay, that safety or that corner is definitely in a hard flat. It's a huge, wide open, area of the field. Tampa 2, super easy to beat if they don't jump. Obviously, the other reads on this play, we've got a nice little high-low read with the running back and the tight end. If that mid-read or the user follows that tight end down the seam, that route is going to get open underneath. If they're blitzing, he'll stop to pick up the blitz shortly, so you'll have to recognize that and realize it's not going to come. No blitz. Releases right away. You really want to wait until they turn around this year. In past years, if you throw that ball a little too early, it'll hit off the side of their helmet. I've seen it happen a million times. It's happened to me. It's happened to people I watch on stream. You really have to wait till they turn around and face the court. Actually hit them. The backside route, again, is our last option. We would like to have another short option besides, the halfback, or say you're in a situation where you have to block the halfback. A lot of people, blitz, so you're going to have to block your halfback quite a bit. I'll put the smoke out there, and then I'll put drag or a slant. More than likely a drag. The slants will typically run into the yellow zones. So you just, put your guy on the drag. Now, against like a cover 3, let's talk about cover 3 real quick. Let's go ahead and sky. They have purples out, right? And you are in the middle of the field. Not throw this. I just made myself look liar. But, it just depends on what their zone drops are on, right? If they have their zone drops set to like 2025, this will get boxed. So you can't just blindly throw. You got to watch the leverage and the depth of the cornerback on the inside. But if they start shading underneath, right, then almost like a curl route, remember, throw it almost like a curl route, get in there. Now, if it's short side of the field, corner routes will typically get open a little bit more against like a cover three. It's just the way the game's this year. Like that. A little bit easier. Now, to make it a little bit more effective, say we are actually wide side, right? There's a few things we can do with this play. They are playing soft coverage, which means they have this defensive back, nickel back, dropping back pretty far in a curl flat, or maybe a cloud flat. We can do two things. We can create our own makeshift screen with the tight end going out on the flat route and having a smoke screen. Something, one of my favorite tactics since I've learned it. It's probably been years. And they actually will block this year. It's pretty exciting. So snap, throw, then the tight end will get a block. Once we get them into hard flats, which is really, that's our game plan, get them into hard flats. To make this a lot more open, streak the outside guy, flat the tight end. It's not a rocket science. Streak flat corner combination is as old as time. But I would, since all that focus is on the right side of the field, put something on this left side, like a slant or a drag again, to, in case the user just runs over there and then vacates that middle area of the field, you want to have something to attack that area that they left. So let's see, snap of the ball. Remember, almost like a curl, like on that area is wide open. Nothing too crazy, right? As far as like a cover four, this combination still works against the cover four. Let's just go ahead and jump into that just to show you. They're playing match coverage. Match coverage does a good job against this. A lot of people just don't know how to use match coverage. But if you're looking to learn how to use match coverage, actually Gridiron Game Plans has a tutorial by. It's kind of something I'm studying right now to try to maximize, because I really hate playing man coverage. Match is actually a form of man coverage, but I just like it a little bit better. It feels not as cheap as man. I don't know. But anyways, this is C4, and I couldn't get the pass off because of the pass rush. But let me just show you one more time. It's still, you got to throw it like a curl, literally like you would throw a curl route, just slightly towards the side. That one was actually a terrible throw. I led him too much to the sideline, so almost exactly like a corner route. But there is, you can fit that ball. Now, what you can do on the other side of the field, like say you're facing a lot of cover four drop, right? Somebody's really just trying to make you dot your way down the field, take the game real slow. There's a couple things you can do. You can drag this tight end, and then your dig route will get open late. I like that combo just because you have the halfback on, the low read, so it's a little high low. What I've done in the past too is if I'm doing this over here, this flood concept, I'll like either wheel. I really don't think a wheel is as good this year in this combination, but you can wheel this halfback. Then the dig route gets open a little bit better. The wheel is tough because the wheel will run right into the deep blue zone, and if you put the wheel out there, you're putting it out there with the intention that you're not going to throw it. You're doing it just to pull the zone. Okay? So it's almost a wasted route, but it just depends. I mean, a lot of the offense I play is pretty, freestyle. So once you get into that mentality of just knowing what route combinations work and what your opponent's most likely running, then it doesn't really matter. You'll just get a feel for it. But to be safe, if you're kind of like a beginner or you're just unsure of what your opponent's in, maybe just play that zone, because that way, if there is like a deep blue there, not a deep blue, but a purple there, then you can check down. So that's pretty much it for Smash. Let me see, did I go over everything? Yeah. I mean, you can always motion this guy over to create a post. Don't love doing that. Don't really do that much. But that's just kind of a little heads up. If you are running this and say the wide side of the field is to your right, I do like the halfback wheel. These zones will clear out, or excuse me, these routes will clear out these zones, and then pop that in there. And I accidentally popped it. My finger slipped off. That's pretty much it for Smash. Just go and practice that pass lead. It's very important to practice that curl route pass lead, because if you're not used to it, if you're used to throwing other corner routes, it's not going to be just like that. So that's it.